JASS is an app to define and measure human aptitudes required to do a job. In the early 1980s, the Army became increasingly interested in factoring human resource costs into overall assessments of new weapon systems. This interest continues today because of the desire to maximize overall performance for systems involving human personnel. This is important because underskilled personnel may cause the failure of a system to perform at anticipated levels, whereas the allocation of overskilled personnel is an inefficient use of human resources. JASS makes use of a taxonomy of skills and abilities developed in part by Edwin Fleischmann in the early 1980s. Based on this taxonomy, JASS asks simple yes or no questions regarding 50 aptitudes required to complete a particular duty or assignment. These aptitudes are divided into 8 clusters: communication, conceptual, reasoning, speed-loaded, vision, audition, psychomotor, and gross motor. For instance, to assess oral comprehension in the communication cluster, the first question would be, in order to perform the task, is it necessary that the person know the English language? Followed by, is it necessary to listen to and understand spoken English sentences? Once it is determined that a particular aptitude is required, a subjective rating scale rates how much of the aptitude is required. In other words, how demanding is the task in terms of the required aptitude. The subjective rating scale ranges from 1 to 7 with 3 behavioral anchor points to guide the evaluator. For instance, for oral comprehension, 1.2 might mean the ability to understand a TV commercial, 3.5 might mean the ability to understand instructions for a sport, and 6.3 might mean the ability to understand a lecture on navigating in space. Researchers can set up profiles consisting of jobs, assignments, and duties for evaluation. Jobs are the broadest classification, followed by assignments, and then duties, which define specific tasks for job assignments. It is important to note that subject matter experts, also called SMEs, answer the questions presented by JASS. For instance, participants may include officers or non-commissioned officers for a military application, or managers or other people overseeing tasks for other applications. The questions are not answered by the personnel performing the tasks. The results of JASS are most insightful when many SMEs rate the same job assignments. JASS provides several built-in visualizations for exploring results. For example, researchers can explore ratings in a chart, bar graph, or textual list. The raw data may also be exported in comma-separated value, or CSV, format, and then emailed for further analysis. Results from JASS may be used in many types of analyses, for example, determining baseline skills and abilities for critical task performance, establishing a training schedule based on task demands, or recommending human factors remediation for duties with high skill demands. JASS is available for use on iOS and Android tablets or in a web browser on a PC.